you have an opportunity towards the end of the year, the last 2 months, you're going to make a decision on how you want to write the story, how much fame, how much notoriety, how much of the next level you want to walk into to prepare you for 2025. Does that look good?
It does. I can see 5 decks
Okay.
very
All right.
clearly.
Okay, great. All right. Now, I can't see the camera, so you have to let me know if things look a little off, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, today I have 2 decks. And people been seeing angel numbers, which for the last, it's become more and more popular over the last, I guess, 10 or 20 years. And, it's become a worldwide phenomenon. For me, it goes right along with my experience of transcending religion and walking into a relationship with source, with the universe, with my higher self. And what I found is that angel numbers, it's not just about sending us a message, but it's right along with something you said in our last recording, is that it's a language. It's a language. And so angels, our ancestors, the universe will help us develop a language that we can use to communicate. And I found that angel numbers help us to get into alignment with source, get in alignment with the Hermetic principles. Okay? You following me?
Yeah, and I'm going to add just really quickly to clarify a little bit more in that vein. So I read cards too. I do more coaching these days, but I still read cards. And when I was first compelled to start reading cards, I was afraid to do it. I didn't want to do it because I knew that a lot of my Christian friends were going to have hard feelings about that. But they just kept calling me. And so eventually I did a bunch of free readings. And what I believe now from that time and the accuracy that those readings had is that the cards are just a language, you know, and spirit wants to communicate with us. And so if you create a language, I believe that you could literally write symbols down on a page and give them all a meaning.
I
And
love
that
it.
spirit will start to communicate with you using those symbols. So that
I
I just
love
want to
it.
clarify. I think that spirit wants to talk to us. And if we have a language, be it cards, be it whatever, we can use that to
I love
communicate
it.
with spirit.
I love
Awesome.
it. It makes complete sense. It makes complete sense. All right, let us pray. We are thankful and grateful for this day and for this opportunity. We are opening the Akashic records. We are opening the books of heaven so that we may come into divine alignment or alignment with the divine and realizing that we're all in this together. Ashe.
Ashe.
Okay, so I'm going to divide these. Okay. Which one you want to go on top?
The blue deck on the right.
Here, is this the right? This the right?
On the other one's yeah, let's take that one. Let's take that one, the big one.
Okay. Is it okay if I put it here?
Yes.
Here?
Yes.
Here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're doing a forecast for 2024, right? A collective forecast and what we're expecting. So I have 2 decks of cards, and I'm going to do a 5x5. Last time I did a 4x4. I'm going to do a 5x5 this time. And this is a language, as you were saying. And so what's happening for me is I'm continuing to learn more and more. I'm continuing to develop my relationship, developing this language. The angels, the ancestors are continuing to teach me more about this language, helping me to develop this language more and more. Everything look clear? Everything in camera?
Yep, I can see 5 by almost 3 at this point.
Okay,
Oh, there's my
great.
birth card. 7 of spades in the place to be.
Look at that. Look at that.
And I think, yeah, you're up there in the second row, RJ, King of Diamonds.
Yeah, yeah, and that's really if that's really no surprise
Right.
because we had a King of Diamonds in the last reading. Remember that? We had two of them.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you have 5 by 5 in the window.
Yes.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yep, we
That's
can
so
see them
wonderful.
all.
Okay, that's so wonderful. That's perfect. Okay, so now as as we said, this is a language and everyone has to develop their own language, but there are principles to follow. There are principles to follow. And so this is a combination between cartomancy and the principles of angel numbers. I am using my intuition in some regards as well. Okay, so there's principles, there's intuition, and there's an understanding of numerology. There's understanding of cartomancy. This system is very, very simple. It may look difficult, but it's very, very simple. There's very few things that I have to know. I just need to know some basics about numerology and some basics about angel numbers, and then I can continue to learn more and more about what cards mean and learn about the system of cartomancy. To make it very simple, we're just looking for patterns. We're looking for patterns. We're looking for repeating patterns, and we're looking particularly at the numbers. The face cards will come back to that, but right now we're just looking at the numbers. So, what are the repeating numbers that you see, whether single or double or triple digits? What repeating numbers do you see, Yuda?
I see sevens. I see a couple of sevens. I see a lot of fives.
Mm-hmm. A lot of
A few
fives.
sixes. Oh no, maybe as many sixes as fives or close. There's a lot of fives. There's a lot of sixes. There's a lot of nines all in the same row.
Awesome, awesome. And we saw a 5 in the last reading
Yeah,
for
there
the
were a lot of
yeah,
fives.
because 2023 and 24 are connected. If we think about 2020, that was when COVID hit. That was the year of reflection. And then 2021, 22, and 23, that's 3 years, one, two, three. Those have been years of preparation for 2024.
I concur.
And then you have 2024, that's 2024, right? You following me?
Yes.
So if you take the last two digits, that's 2 and 4. 2 plus 4 is what?
Six.
6. And 6 is the number of, do you recall?
Well, in
In
cardiology,
numerology,
sixes are purpose, sixes are balance, sixes are kind of the last time for material preparation for the spiritual phase of the seven.
okay, I'm going to take your last definition, the material phase. Okay. So in my system, sixes represent, and in a lot of systems in numerology, 6 represents humanity, it
Mm.
represents service, it represents domestic affairs. And in our 2023 reading, we talked about if you wanted to end the year on the right note, you need to get out and do what? Serve people with your talents. So that's 6. You following me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we have 7, 6, 5, 5, 6, 6. We have a 6, 7. Here we have a 6, 7. We have 110. We have 1, 2. And in our 2023 reading, we were talking about how diamonds represented our goals for 2023. So let's carry that into 2024, that the diamonds in here, the pinnacles, in general, they represent earth, prosperity, money. In this reading, the diamonds are going to represent people's goals, hopes, dreams. Okay?
Okay.
All right, awesome. So now I'm just kind of looking over the board to see what patterns I see, and see if anybody is in the chat. Tell us what patterns you see in the chat. What repeating numbers do you see in the chat? Any double digits you see?
Yeah, the chat can take a while. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. We'll go ahead and move forward. Some symmetry I see. I see a 7, 6 here, and I also see a 6, 7. Okay.
Yes.
So when I see high symmetry patterns, I like to prioritize high symmetry patterns. So I'm going to put a 7, 6 here, and I'm going to put a 6, 7 here. And then near the bottom, there's these 5, 9. There's a 5, 9 here, and there's a 5, 9 here. I'm going to prioritize those as well. I'm going to collect these 5s right here. I'm going to collect these 6s right here. Okay, we have this joker right here. Pull that up a little bit. We have this 9 by itself, a 5 by itself, a 2, a 4, a king, a 10, and a 3. Okay. All right, I think we're about done. I just like to collect the symmetry, collect the patterns. We have the 7, 6, 6, 7. We have the double 5s, the double 6s. We have the 5, 9, 5, 9. We have 1, 9. And then we have 2 jacks, 2 jack of clubs. They have a jack of spade and king of spade. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. I think we're ready for a reading. All
Okay.
right.
Let's hear it.
Now I have a system that I follow that's not very evident, but what I'll say is I tend to preference high symmetry patterns. Okay, like the 7, 6, 6, 7. That's a high symmetry pattern as opposed to just 5, 5. Okay, makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So in our last reading in 2023,
Mm,
now we said that face cards represent people. Okay, they represent people. And in our 2023 reading, the jack represented us collectively as a people. Okay, so it's very interesting that the jack is here. I consider this to be the primary position. And then when we get down to the end of the board, I consider that to be the end of the story. So we're going to tell a story. We're going to read the cards. We're reading the Akashic records. We are reading the books of heaven. They're called the Book of Records in the Bible, Revelations 2012. So starting with the Jack, this representing us, people are really uncertain about their goals for this year. And they're really thinking about, wow, okay, I have last year I had this goal, I had this goal, I had this goal, I had this goal, I had this goal. And some of them I made good progress, some I struggled. And so closing out 2023, a lot of people really struggled with closing out their goals for 2023. And what I told people in 2023 is if you really, really serve, then you're going to make some progress. You're going to make more progress on your goals than you realize. So hopefully people took that advice and really served closing out 2023. But now coming into 2024, people are saying, okay, I have these goals, but I'm really unclear about my direction. Okay. Because clubs in my system represent ideas, represent meditation, represent thought. Okay. So people have their goals, but they're unclear about the direction that they should take. So during this month of January, and it's interesting, we have J for Jack, and J is January. People should not worry that they don't have a clear direction right now. Okay. Some people are worried that they don't have a clear direction. They have goals, but not a clear direction. The month of January is really a time to meditate. I love what you said earlier about how about communication with the divine is two-way. You want to pray and meditate, right?
Yes.
You with me there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
You want to pray and go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just making sure you could hear me. Yes, we're here with you.
Okay. So during this month of January, this is a very important time to meditate and to pray, to have two-way conversation, to talk to source about what's important to you, but also listen to what's important for this year. So very, very important for the month of January. Okay. I'm gonna come back to the 7667. Five represents what in numerology, Yuta?
Change and freedom.
Change and freedom, personal freedom and change. In 2023, we talked about that if people really want to make progress on their goals, that they need to make some changes in how they are managing their resources. That's why we see this five of diamonds. Okay. So for people to get direction this year, one of the roadblocks is that people really need to properly utilize their resources, whether it's money, whether it's people, whether it's time, or whether it's energy. People need to properly utilize their resources. Okay. In the last reading in 2023, we said that emotions were causing some blocks for people. You remember that, Yuta?
Yep.
So not only do people need to properly manage their resources, for people to be successful in 2024, they need to also make some changes on how they are managing their emotions. One thing I loved about our last recording is that you said when it comes to emotions that people really need to heal. They need to heal from past trauma. They need to heal from some past emotional experiences. Do you remember that, Yuta?
Yes.
So people need to make changes in how they're managing their resources. They also need to make changes on how they're managing their emotions. Okay. So here we started the year off. We're starting the year off with a lot of questions. People got a lot of questions about direction, about where they should go. And this is a time, January is a time to pray and meditate. If they pray and meditate, then here this have we have the seven. Seven represents what in numerology, Yuda?
Spirit.
Try again.
Well, as far in my system in cardology, sevens represent spirit. Seven is the first number of
It,
spirit. If you lay the cards out,
exactly.
okay.
Exactly. So in angel numbers, because angel numbers repeats, the patterns repeat, this 7667 actually confirms this jack. We said that this jack represents that we need to meditate, we need to pray and meditate. We need to have a two-way conversation with spirit. That's why the seven shows up. This seven is saying you need to pray and meditate about your goals this year. You need to pray and meditate. Six represents service. You need to pray and meditate about how you're going to serve people this year. So that's an answer right there. What do you need to pray and meditate about this year? How you're going to serve people this year with your talents, with your gifts, with your products, with your love. How are you going to interact with people this year? How are you going to be a service of people this year? Okay. Now, as we go through this year, I wish I could say that this is going to be an easy process, but it's not. People are going to have some challenges. In my systems, spades represents challenges. People are going to seek to serve people, and they're going to run into some challenges with serving people. It might be dealing with people. It might be having some struggles in how you're providing your talents to people. Okay. And it's going to be challenging. Okay. As soon as you start trying to serve people, help people, provide your products and services to people, immediately you're going to run into challenges. And people are going to go back to prayer and meditation. And I'm going to tell people at this point in time, that's not the direction you need to go because you already have the answer. The answer is serve people. So even though you run into challenges in serving people and you want to run back to prayer and meditation, you already got the answer. So what do you need to do? What's another part of the answer? You need to make changes in how you are managing your resources, managing your emotions, and you need to serve people. So we say that hearts is emotion. You need to continue to be committed to serving people. Don't let people, again, the six of spades pops up, challenges again. Don't let people push you away from what you're passionate about. Don't let people push you away from your products and your services and your talents and your gifts. Because this year is going to be challenges with people. Okay? But if you overcome the challenge, then you're going to have prosperity, and it's going to be balanced prosperity. We have the queen and the king. We have the female and the male. We have the feminine and the masculine. If you can overcome the challenges that people give you this year, you are going to achieve your goals in a very balanced, very healthy way. And people will see your heart for it. Okay? So I'm gonna stop there for the moment. Any feedback?
No, I mean, I love it. I imagine, that there's something going on with my internet, perhaps. Um, but I would actually like to add, to this, especially because we have the double Jack of Clubs, which in cardology is the card of mental creativity. And we also have the Jack of Spades, which in cardology is literally the most creative card in the deck.
I love it.
So, so for me, another thing that I'm compelled to add to what's already been said is that, we're surrounded by spirit. Like, in my opinion, our creative inclinations come from spirit, and when we are really enjoying our music or whatever it is that we're offering, it is because we are being a clear channel for spirit. So that's good when we know how to channel that creative energy. But I feel like a lot of us do work that doesn't really allow us to express the fullness of our creativity. And in that case, when we are not expressing the creative inspiration that spirit is giving us, then it can be hard to sleep. We can have a lot of fear, doubt, worry, and anxiety, which in my opinion, I'm sure it's an oversimplification. But in my years of working with people, I'm very clear that a lot of the fear, doubt, worry, and anxiety that we experience is unexpressed creative inclinations. So the thing that I would like to add, in addition to meditation and prayer, is that we do something on a regular basis that allows us to channel creativity. And if you're one of those people who says that you are not an artist, then color or journal. But I really think that there is so much creative energy that spirit is trying to communicate with us, so much that if we are not channeling our creative urges, then we will experience a lot, an inordinate amount of fear, doubt, worry, and anxiety. And if you're already there, believe it or not, coloring, journaling, even doodling, these things can really help to channel some of that creative energy so that you can find, more peace of mind.
I love it. I love it. All of that falls right into the reading. Now we have 5 rows. This represents the middle of the year. Okay. This is the first half. This is the middle of the year. And then this is the second half. Okay. Now, for some people, this may not be exactly 6 months, but there's going to be a shift. There's going to be a shift, somewhere between 4 to 8 months. There's going to be a shift, but halfway there's a shift. Okay. So the first challenge of this year is dealing with people. Okay. What do we need to pray and meditate about? How we're going to serve people, how we're going to serve people with our passions, right? For some people, it might be doing readings. For some people, it might be their business. For some people, it might be connection with their family, right? But it's going to be a year of interacting with people, and the challenge of this year is dealing with people, and then making changes in how we manage our resources and our emotions. Okay, we're going to get to a good place, and people are going to see our heart, right? We need to keep our passion alive, stay focused, and people will see our heart. But after that, there's going to be a shift, and we're going to have some new challenges. We may have some challenges with our systems, with our business systems. We may have some challenges with our plans. We may have some challenges with legal. We might have some legal challenges in how we're setting up our business, how we're setting up our systems, and we're going to have to address those challenges head on. Okay, this is probably going to be the hardest part of the year, and people are going to feel like, again, the Joker represents the beginning of the journey. In this case, I'm using a colorful Joker. This is not the magician. This is the beginning of the journey. I have another Joker in my deck that has another symbol at the bottom. That's the end of the journey. That's the manifester. That's the magician. The ability to manifest your goals and dreams. But this is the beginning of the journey. So when people are facing challenges in their systems this year, they're going to want to meditate and pray, okay? But I mean, you always should meditate and pray, but there's already the answers are already there. You got to stay committed to the answers. People will feel like they want to quit. Okay, halfway through the year, people are going to feel like they want to quit, whether it be in 4 months or 6 months or 8 months. But there's going to be a shift once you figure out how to deal with people. Now you got problems with systems, and people are going to feel like, man, this is just too much. I can't take it. I want to quit. This is not the time to quit. Okay, what do you have to do? You're going to have to push through it so you can get to a place of walking in your authority, walking in your creative energy. Okay, so you're over here when we prayed about how do I serve people this year. When those answers come, you need to continue in that vein. You don't need to doubt the answers. You need to take all that creativity that you received and move forward in serving people. It's the same answer. These sixes, say, serving people and being creative in how you serve people. Okay, come back to this Jack of Clubs again. This is meditation. Okay, this confirms this. Okay, that the answers you received here, you need to continue in that vein. Continue in that vein. Okay, I'm not going to go through the details of this 5959, but what I'm going to say is that um, through the changes that we make in managing our resources and managing our emotions, if we do the work, it's not going to be easy work. If we do the work of, it might be budgeting, it might be setting up your retirement fund, it might be setting up your investments, utilizing those resources properly, we will come into not only achieving the goals that we want to achieve, but we will come into greater alignment with our purpose this year. Okay, so that's why it's so important that we properly manage our resources and we properly manage our emotions, because this is a year to come into a greater understanding and a greater alignment of our purpose. That brings us to the 9. Okay. I know you have a hard stop at noon, so I'm going to jump to the end, and then you can uh, lead us as to where you want us to go. Okay.
Okay.
So if we continue in this vein, because I can tell you that these are just going to be repeating, it gives us more detail. Okay. But if we continue in this vein of service, properly managing our resources, properly managing our emotions, doing that hard work right here, okay, eventually not only we'll come to this 8 of hearts. Okay, hearts is emotion. Okay, 8 is abundance and authority. We will end the year. Okay, this is not the end of the year, but we will get towards the end of the year very satisfied, very fulfilled, because of the work that we've done. Okay, the work that we've done, and managing our resources, managing our emotions, doing the work to come closer into alignment with our purpose towards the end of the year. Okay, we don't have this, we have space here. Okay, but coming towards the end of the year, we will be very fulfilled with the work that we done, with what we accomplished. Okay, so we should definitely want to revisit this year later on. Um, but what I can tell you is that, around month 9, around month 10, if we do this work, we'll be very satisfied, very fulfilled, and we can begin to write the next chapter going into 2025.
Yes, I love it. And I agree, and I would add that in cardology, the 8 of hearts is a card of fame, and recognition. And so if there is anybody out there, there are definitely, Twitch streamers on here. So I believe that anybody who is willing to be determined about continuing to share what is in their heart to share, no matter what challenges come up, if they take all of those challenges as an opportunity to get stronger and to push through and to continue sharing their love with the world, that many people, as open as you are, as I will say, as famous as you are comfortable being, is available to you this year, as long as you just don't give up, as long as you keep sharing what is in your heart to share. And for instance, DJ Hot Lana, while you were reading, was talking about how she used to do readings on Twitch, but she stopped because she was attracting a lot of weird people into the chat. So I feel like that could be along the lines of the systemic issues that you were talking about, RJ. And it may be challenging you to grow or maybe set a stronger container, but it's probably you don't want to give up just because things are getting hard, because I think things tend to get really hard right before we are about to experience success, almost as if spirit is asking us, are you sure that you want what you're asking for? So I feel like if you keep pushing, that you are likely to end this year as famous as you are comfortable being, just to put that out there. And one other thing that I
Yeah,
wanted to read, sorry, RJ, but J Trace 707 said, interestingly, right before Christmas, I got a community garden plot. I got on the list in 2020 and completely forgot. I studied landscape design and horticulture and had wanted a plot to practice with edible plants and creating a beautiful space. She stopped classes when her mom passed, but she feels like this is the universe reminding her to get back to that, I imagine. Plus, she planned to donate
mm.
all of the food that she grows to the food bank because she doesn't like eating vegetables. So that's funny, and I think that this is true. That she is here to hear this message to remind her that getting back to that garden plot and teaching and sharing is a wonderful way to serve the collective. In my opinion, there's nothing more important than food sovereignty. The food is so bad
Mm.
that anything that you grow yourself, even if it's just a few little things in a pot on your porch, can really help. So definitely, J Trey, please, 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 get back to gardening as soon as that is possible for you. Um,
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really excited. I think that this and this whole thing, I think, is another example of what you're talking about, RJ. Or maybe not RJ, but I had so many technical difficulties trying to get this stream going. I rebooted my machine like 3 times. I unplugged the internet, and I could have just gave up. But I was
Mm-hmm.
like, no, I'm going to keep pushing through. And we went through, and I've just had, the most well attended stream that I've
Are you
ever had.
kidding?
No,
Oh my
seriously.
goodness.
And
Wow.
and I know that there are some technical things that I really need to get in order, and so it
Oh
sucks
wow.
going through those, but I'm grateful to learn and have these challenges now rather than when things are larger, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Yep. Those are the two challenges this year is with people, serving people. People need to get ready. People gonna step out with their gift, with their talent, and they're gonna be running into some challenging people, and they got to work through it. They got to work through it. Um, And then, secondly, this is a year of systems, challenging with systems, whether it be legal or whether it just be general systems. People have got to get their systems together. They're going to run into challenges with their systems, but they've got to push forward. And this is not a time to keep going back and praying for answers you've already received in the beginning of the year, right? That's why this Jack of Clubs is so far down here. This Jack of Club is saying, look, You need to go back to where you were in January and reflect on the answers you received, because they're the same answers, right? They're the same answers. What are the answers? You got to serve people with your talent and with your gift. You it's very, very important how you manage your physical resources and how you're managing your emotions. It's no surprise that this five of hearts shows up when you're dealing with people, because if you can't properly manage your emotions, you're not going to have success with people. So you've got to hold it together, because you're going to be have some challenge with challenges with people this year.
Right. Right. And there's a conversation in the chat. DJ Hotlanta says, this stream is speaking to me. I gave up on something I love because of other people's energy, and I'm a little disappointed in myself, and I almost want to cry, because I can feel that, and what I would say is, don't be disappointed in yourself, especially, I don't know if you were pregnant then, but emotions are high during pregnancy. And those of us who are givers and artists, we're very, very sensitive. And so people come at us the wrong way, and it can make us want to shut down. And there's nothing wrong with that, And sometimes maybe you do need to actually take a break and then come back, but don't be disappointed in yourself, just be like, hey, I had to take a break, and I'm going to get back to it when I have the energy to get back to it. In my opinion, outside of self-esteem, the other most important thing that we need is rest, and self-compassion.
Yep.
I
Yep.
really think self-compassion is probably, I judge that a lot of the challenges that we are going to experience this year, we are experiencing just because Spirit wants us to find compassion for ourselves and find balance and understand that productivity is amazing, but everything has a feminine. You were talking about the King and Queen of Diamonds. Everything has a feminine and a negative, feminine and a masculine aspect. And the feminine aspect of productivity is rest. So if
Right.
you're sad to the point where you want to break down, you're probably approaching burnout, and so you just need to rest for a while. Say, I'm going to take a month, I'm going to take whatever, and then come back later. Don't beat yourself up. To me, when we beat ourselves up for something that we've done, if we made a mistake and then we beat ourselves up, it's like we made that mistake 5 times.
You're right. You're right. You're right on it. And I mean, everything you're saying, I'm seeing here in the cards. You
Nice.
know. Yeah.
Nice.
Most definitely. We're coming up on noon.
Yeah, I see it. So I just want to shout out T. Crizzy. Thank you for being here again. Happy belated birthday. Everybody follow T. Crizzy, DJ Hotlanta. Yes, everyone follow each other. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, RJ, for this amazing reading and your patience with all of the technical difficulties that I had.
Absolutely.
Um, Please follow me on YouTube. And also, RJ, did you say that you're offering a special on your angel readings right now?
Yeah, for the month of January, I'm giving 33% off my regular rates. And so just contact me on Instagram or text me 720-353-6862. It's Xavier Soul 369 on Instagram and Xavier Soul on Facebook. And for the month of January, 30% off my standard rates.
Awesome. Yes. Follow Mr. Go DJ. Thank you for being here, Mr. Go DJ. Thank you, Sassy Peach 0808. Yes, I have a session right now. So I'm going to go ahead and close this